The Timeline of Instant Manifestation, 2017 through 2039. What is going to happen in 2039? 2039 through 2040. There will be an 18-month period when 95% of the entire population of Earth will transform into light, first as a ghostly figure, then into a light, and then disappear. They won't all disappear at the same time. There will be a few disappearing over here, and a few disappearing over there, and the one over there, and then one over here, and then maybe 1,000 at a time. And each of these times that an entity disappears or a group disappears, it is because that is the moment that their consciousness has risen into the full spectrum of light energy that transforms their entire body into light. At first, there will be some standing on earth who will see them turning into a ghost-like figure. They will first look like a ghost, much more transparent, and then they will turn into light, and then they will disappear. And when they turn into a ghost-like figure, they will rise higher and higher, and then you will see them in the sky, and then they will pop into a burst of light, just like a spark or a star, and then they will disappear. And this transfiguration process is actually a normal scientific formula when we understand what the body actually is. The body that scientists see in this third dimensional reality is a carbon-based body. When a carbon-based body is seen in scientific terms, it is an entity who would have to return into the density that it is. It would have to turn into dust. It would have to die, and then the particles of the body become more and more dust-like until it transforms into dust. That would be a carbon-based scientific formula. But in 2017, we're moving into a different chemical structure, a different biological structure, a different elemental formula, where the body actually rises beyond just the spectrum of light of the Hertzian level. Now, everything in our science bases reality on this Hertzian level of what can be seen and touched and felt and measured in scientific terms. But when we move up into a higher dimension, into an infrared reality of looking at things, that is why people are now being able to see spaceships and seeing light in the clouds and seeing a lot of different light spectrums and more rainbows flowing through, and these things that people are seeing as miraculous in the end of times things that they're seeing. They're being able to see these because they're rising from a Hertzian level of consciousness into the infrared spectrum of light. And this infrared spectrum of light is allowing us to see what is on the other side of the veil. It's allowing us to see from the spiritual side and looking back at the physical side through spiritual eyes. So we're seeing something more and more. But the body actually has to rise into the full spectrum of light and sound. This light and sound spectrum is the music of the spheres. It is what the entire cosmos is made of. It's the consciousness, the entire consciousness of Om, the entire consciousness of the frequency of the sun. And this light spectrum of the sun doesn't only contain Hertzian frequencies, it contains infrared frequencies and visible light and invisible light and X-ray and gamma rays and pre-plasma gamma rays, everything the plasma is made of, the pre-light and sound, the pre-heliotalic frequency. The heliotalic frequency is a 14th dimensional frequency. It's when we rise into the cosmic level of frequencies. And this violet harp string, violet sphere of light, the violet spectrum is the highest form of light and sound energy before an entity or a form of any kind transforms completely into the full allness of all that God is, all that the cosmic sun is. So when we turn on, when we activate that final violet string, which is the violet sphere, and we want that violet sphere, the 14th dimension, to activate within our crystal heart. What I call the crystal heart is not the fourth chakra heart. It's the higher heart, which is actually the soul. The soul actually sits to the right of the heart and in back of it, closer to the backbone, but to the right, a little right of the heart. And it actually weighs 13 ounces, and it's actually made out of pre-light, pre-sound. It's made out of this cosmic vapor. It's the consciousness transmitter of the entire allness of all that God is activated. And the more we activate it, the more we become at one with the full spectrum of light and bring that into our crystal heart chakra of our soul. The more we activate that oneness of the entire Om of the cosmic sun, which means you're activating all of the Hertzian, the infrared, the gamma, all of that, and even beyond the gamma into this silver pastel liquid light, heliotalic violet sphere of transformation. And so what we're doing is transforming the body into light. This is a very natural scientific formula for the body to actually ascend into this light energy, because that is what we are really made out of. We are really made out of light. We're not really made out of carbon. That is just the highest scientific formula of understanding that we have had on Earth. But now we have a new scientific formula of understanding. This scientific formula of understanding is called Om. It means the frequency of the sun. It means the allness of the sun. And the allness of the sun includes the full light spectrum of the gamma, the X-ray, the violet ray, the heliotalic, including the Hertzian. And so the Hertzian actually disappears and rises into the infrared spectrum when we start seeing reality from the other side, from the spiritual eyes turning back and looking at us. And from that point we can move up into the invisible light spectrum, where we see things that are in the fourth dimension, and we rise higher and higher into that full spectrum of light. But we must transform the body into the full spectrum of light in order to move into one higher level of reality. So we're in this third level of reality, and we're moving up into the fourth level of reality. The reason that I know that we're still in the third level of reality is because we're still touching our body. And when you touch your body, your finger doesn't go through your body. That's how you know you're still in the third dimension. When you can touch your body and your finger goes through your body, then you'll know you're in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension includes a body, an elemental chart, a biological structure, a completely different chemical structure, a different biology, a different elemental chart of reality. And in that reality, you can walk through a wall, you can put your finger through your body, because your body is not in this dense form that it is at this time. And people are thinking that they're in the fourth dimension at this time, but they're really practicing being in the fourth dimension. They're doing things in their consciousness, in their imagination, that's placing them in this fourth dimensional reality where they're levitating and walking on water and walking through walls and seeing their body become in plasma and orbiting around to different planets. Now, all of this, we're practicing this in our consciousness now because we're excited about it. We want it, and we're believing in it. And because there are so many people believing in it and raising their consciousness into this, this is all helping to activate the consciousness of all on earth to be able to do this by 2039. And the reason that this won't happen to most of the population until 2039 is because the sun is going to be helping. The sun is going to be transforming our bodies into this full spectrum of light. And we've been seeing a little bit of it already by just the difference people are seeing in what they see when they look at clouds and rainbows and they see in the sky, and they're seeing many things that they didn't see before. They're beginning to see portals and stargates and spaceships. So this is the first step of moving into a higher spectrum of light reality. So people are beginning to experience this and doing this. They're moving into the light more and more. And the sun is going to be activating more and more of these higher frequencies. And it began with the positron in 2013 was the first time that scientists actually saw the sun emitting positron rays into the earth. These positron rays flow through the crust of the earth, into the earth, and out the other side of the earth. So this is a different light spectrum than was ever seen before by scientists. It's actually a kind of energy that goes through a density because it doesn't see density. Density is a concept in a lower dimensional consciousness reality, and the positron doesn't see that, so it flows right through the earth. Now, I had to use that same positronic type of energy consciousness when I was creating the Ascension Portals. The 12 Ascension Portals in the Pacific Ocean, 5 of them are along the coast and 7 of them are in the Pacific Ocean. When I was creating these Ascension Portals, I was using that same type of transformational consciousness of the positron, where I was actually drilling holes from one side of the earth through the other side, where it seems like there is no density within the earth because this frequency, this consciousness can like drill a hole right through it. So that was what I spent the last 8 years doing, was drilling holes through the earth, so that in 2017 the spaceships from the God world itself, from the cosmic realm, will be flying, they are called the travelers. They will be traveling from the God world. So we're going up, if you think in dimensions, up in the above the 15th dimension, these spaceships are traveling. They're coming down, they're coming clear down this light portal of the 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This portal. So there's this portal, if you think of a 0-point alignment from the, if you think of a pyramid, and the tip of the pyramid, they're coming down this pyramid through this portal, through all of these dimensions, and right through Earth, and through Earth to the other side, because they're in a spherical pattern of ascension. So they have ascended every 250 million years. They have ascended another cycle and another cycle and another cycle. But these last 4 cycles of ascension, these entities have been stuck in this loop and not been able to finish their loop of ascension. So they have been waiting for 4 rounds of this 250 million year cycles of ascension until this time in history when they can finally ascend all the way back through Earth and start a new cycle of ascension. So this is what's been blocking the ascension of the entire universe. And to unblock this cycle of ascension, the creators required to have 47 creators standing on Earth at this time, working on these projects of activating the Earth. There were projects of those who were reactivating the stargates, and that was done by indigo children and crystal children. And then I was given the job of activating and opening the 12 Ascension Portals. The 12 Ascension Portals are all connected directly to the God realm, to the cosmic realm in the God world. The stargates are directly connected to the 12th dimension Elohim race line, the 12th dimensional original angelic race line. And their angelic race line does not mean they're angels, it means they're children of the angels. The only angels are in the cosmic realm. The angels are the creators. There are creators who are called the creators and the angels. Angels and creators are from the God world. The angelic race line of the Elohim are 12th dimensional beings, a 12th dimensional race line. And that is the group that was working on activating the stargates. Those of us from the creator realm were working on different projects. My project as Mary Magdalene was to open the 12 stargate, or 12 Ascension Portals. And the Ascension Portals needed to be opened. That is the frequency, the energy, the consciousness that I placed in the 12 Ascension Portals is what activates the energy of the 12 stargates. And the 12 stargates are the lighted landing pad. When the travelers travel from the cosmic realm, from the God realm, down through all of the dimensions, and they're locating their landing pad of Earth, they're using these 12 stargates, which will be lit up. They're being activated and lit up so that the travelers can use them as their navigational tool and their landing pad. So they will see the lights of these stargates. And once they find that landing pad, they will be landing on Earth, and then that will be like their landing pad and going over to my Ascension Portals. And the only Ascension Portal that is huge enough, powerful enough, strong enough to go all of the way through Earth is called the Central Ascension Portal, and that is located in the center of the Pacific Ocean. And that is the Ascension Portal. That is the portal that these travelers will travel through after they locate planet Earth with the 12 stargates. Then they will land on that landing pad, and then they will be met and greeted by me, Mary Magdalene. I am the hostess for these travelers. I am the creator. I am the cosmic being standing on Earth who opened the portals for them and who will greet them and invite them to use my portals. And I will be meeting each one of these entities face to face, meeting them, learning their names, and inviting them into the Central Ascension Portal, and then helping navigate them through that portal, because that navigation is within my codes. I contain the keys to the Ascension Portals. Those keys and codes of Ascension are within me. They're within the female Christ. So I am always working with my creator team, and my creator team includes Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Ariel, Elika, and Jesus, and me. So there's 8 of us. There are 8 of us on this creation team who are who have been together reactivating the Ascension Portals. And then I am the one on Earth who had to do this on Earth with these other entities working through me. But everything had to be done through me because I'm the one standing on Earth able to do this. And this is the same procedure that is used for landing the spaceships. When the spaceships land here, my team will always be working with me, and their function is mostly maintaining the Ascension Portals, making sure that they're perfectly kept, while I am greeting the travelers and guiding them into the portals, and they're using my navigational keys and codes to travel through the portals. So this is the second step in getting to this point in 2039 when we all turn into light. Before there could be enough consciousness activated on Earth to do this, the stargates had to be reactivated, the portals had to be reactivated, and we also have the crystal skulls. The crystal skulls are owned by, there are 13 owners of crystal skulls, and most of them are off planet. Some of them are on planet, but on planet doesn't mean people that can be seen. There are a lot of entities on planet. They're 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and dimensional that are on Earth now. So those people, there will be crystal skulls that are owned by entities who are 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th dimensional beings on Earth. And those are the skulls that will be used as the remote controls that will open the stargates to send the frequencies and the lights out for these sets of spaceships to be landing. So they will be using this pattern of the stargates to use their navigational tools through the stargates into the landing pad. So after these entities, these cosmic consciousness creator entities, fly their spaceships through the Ascension Portals, that is going to bring the consciousness, the cosmic consciousness, the creator consciousness of the original ones, the original angelic consciousness that is the true race line of this universe. This is how the entire plan of creation began. There were the angels and creators in the God realm, and we were the ones that are the creators of the children of the angels, the Elohim race line. And that was the creation. That was the original creation. And so that original consciousness matching the consciousness of God himself, the creator consciousness, that was the template of reality for the universe. But things happened along the way where that formula of perfection got imperfected, and there were many, the Elohim race line, Elohim race line, that is most commonly said, they were destroyed by many wars and invasions and misalignments and things, and so that race line was so destroyed that there had to be a new angelic race line that was recreated by the Elohim and the Syrian race lines combined, creating the Azarites and the Yanni and several other race lines that were the new angelic creation race lines. And so we now have many hybrid race lines instead of the original angelic race lines. When these travelers from the God realm come to Earth and travel through the portals, they will be returning the original race line, the original God-made race line, before it had any distortions placed in it and had to be remade by the Syrians and Elohim rebreeding and having hybrid races. So we're going back to where we began, 4 cycles of 250 million years ago, before the problems began in the universe. We're going back to that time where these entities have been waiting around for 4 cycles of ascension to continue their ascension. There's been a block in the ascension. So now these entities that have gone through creation cycles over and over and over and over, so they're billions and billions and billions of years, have been spent in this perfect consciousness. So their consciousness is just sparkly, crystal clear, God-like creation substance. So most of them are angels and some of them are creators. They're very high dimensional beings who have gone through ascension after ascension after ascension after ascension. Most of the entities that are channeled or are spoken of on planet Earth are only entities who have gone through 2 or 3 ascension cycles at the most. And those were probably only 25,000 year ascension cycles. They haven't even been through one 250 million ascension cycle. These entities have gone through 4 250 million ascension cycles. And that means with all those millions in between, these entities are extremely high consciousness. So when their consciousness passes through Earth, Mother Earth will be feeling her original consciousness restored in her, because this is the consciousness that matches her original design. She has redesigned herself to house those who did not have the original template as she was originally made to have. And that has worked on Mother Earth over the years to just deteriorate her worse and worse and worse. She had no consciousness left. She just couldn't survive any longer if this original consciousness wasn't returned to her at this time. She wouldn't have made it through another year. She would be dead next year. She wouldn't have survived. And the deterioration of Earth has been seen in the tectonic plates under the ocean floors, the way that they were shifting around and causing so many earthquakes. That was because Mother Earth's consciousness was just getting so scrambled, she couldn't hold her tectonic plates in place anymore. So what I did as Mary Magdalene, who is the creator on Earth, who came here to open the Ascension Portals, the project of opening the Ascension Portals required me to be the one shifting the tectonic plates around for Mother Earth, because she just couldn't do it anymore. So I have been spending every night and day for the last 25 years shifting tectonic plates on planet Earth. And I do this together with dolphins. Dolphins and I share a language called the Trinary Language. The reason I share that language is because Mary Magdalene was on Earth 400 million years ago as a mermaid and a dolphin. Mary Magdalene here is at this time as Angela Barnett and Joe Barnett. 400 million years ago, Angela Barnett was a mermaid. My name was Bazelda, and my cosmic twin at that time was a dolphin, and we both spoke the Trinary language, and we were the offspring, the Orifim race line, the Orifim dolphinoids and the Orifim humanoids we came in that form at that time. We have always been creators. We weren't any one specific race line. We were creators which come in whatever form of creation is on which of the 40 billion planets that we're working on at that time. So at that moment in history, 400 million years ago, we came as creators to Earth as a mermaid and a dolphin. And so we were the ones at that time who set the original Ascension Portals within Mother Earth, in the deepest level of the oceans, the Pacific Ocean, at the deepest spot in the Pacific Ocean, and then even deeper within that, within the more etheric realm of that. And The portal that was created by Mary Magdalene at that time is now in the location of the Monterey Big Sur Carmel area. So in the deepest part of the ocean, out there in front of Big Sur, is where we were as the mermaid and dolphin 400 million years ago when we created the Ascension Portal called the Mary Magdalene Ascension Portal. And that Ascension Portal has been there waiting for us to return to this time, to reopen it, and to reopen all of the other Ascension Portals that are connected and related to it, to be able to allow the travelers from the God realm to pass through Earth, to return her original consciousness of the original ones, which will allow Mother Earth to begin having consciousness of her own tectonic plates again. So I had to work with the dolphins to arrange these tectonic plates. And what we do at night is we find these tectonic plates. They're shifting up and down and back and forth, and they're in areas of radiuses of about 5 miles to 50 miles. And so we're only able to work on about 5 miles at a time of these tectonic plates. And what we do is we use a Trinary Language transmission from within the ocean up through the Citation Nation Council in the Pleiades. So this is a fifth dimensional level harmonic alignment that we use. And we use that harmonic alignment, that transmission, to shift the tectonic plates into the correct alignment. So they're not shifting back and forth, causing earthquakes or blocking the ascension portals. So we've been shifting these tectonic plates around to reopen the portals. And at the same time, each time we've opened a portal, we have also stopped many earthquakes. We have prevented 5 of the major earthquakes that would have destroyed California during the last few years. We stopped a 9.2 earthquake that would have happened in 2015, and then we stopped 4 more major earthquakes in May, June, July, August of this year, August, September, October, the whole time that I was opening these Ascension Portals. During that period of time, there were 2 9 earthquakes prevented, a 7, a 5, and a 6. And these were earthquakes, the one that was predicted on the San Andreas fault line, the ones that would have made the California coast fall into the ocean, and Oregon, Washington, California coastline, that area would have slid into the ocean. The San Andreas fault line would have, that earthquake would have activated. So we stopped all of those major earthquakes that would have taken place in California when we were opening these Ascension Portals. So the main part of opening Ascension Portals was shifting tectonic plates, and that is what I have been doing with the dolphins. And we started the first Ascension Portals when we were in Monterey, and there's a YouTube on my website where it talks about this entire time when I was in Monterey opening the first Ascension Portal with the dolphins. And at that time there were dolphins rising into the sky. It was like watching the ascension, the fourth dimensional ascension that will happen to human beings on Earth. That was happening to dolphins at the time. They were actually turning into light and turning up and becoming plasma bodies and disappearing into light, just like what is going to happen to the human population in 2039. So the dolphins paved the way and have been paving these portals, and the reason that they could be seen turning into plasma and rising into light is because we were using these Trinary Language communication, which is a sonic radiation communication technology that goes at light speed of beyond the speed of light. So it's like having a telephone that speaks at the speed of light. So we're transmitting these messages back and forth, aligning the earth into the stability, the harmonic alignment of the fifth dimension. And that's why a lot of people think that this ascension is fifth dimensional, because we are using fifth dimensional technologies from the Pleiadians to do much of what is happening on Earth at this time. But the human race line, what is happening to the humans, we're changing from this third dimensional density, this body that you can touch and feel and brush your hair and wear your glasses on, put your shoes on, to a body that is so etheric that we don't do any of those things anymore. We blend into everything, blends together in a much more just etheric type of reality, and the colors are totally neon there. When we travel, we orb from planet to planet. We can choose whichever planet we want to live on there. So a lot of these things have been described by others as something that's more fifth dimensional, but that is what fourth dimensional is. It's moving, our bodies turn into light, and then we blip into this entire new reality. It's not an earth that looks similar to this earth, and it's not rising into a higher earth. It's actually shifting to an entire different reality. And this reality is much like what has been described as where you go when you die. And it is. It is where you go when you die. It is the spiritual realm. It is the place where people pick what planet they want, and they go around traveling through all the planets and galaxies and exploring whatever they want to do. That is the fourth dimension. That is the spiritual. We did a physical life, now we're shifting into a spiritual life. And that's what the fourth dimension is. And that's why 95% of the population will turn into light in 2039, 18 months, 2039 to 2040. 95% of the population will turn into plasma, become ghost-like, blip into light, and move into the fourth dimension. The other 5% will follow them between 2040 to 2047. They will take a little longer, and there will be some of us who come back to help those to finish their transformation. And I think that's one of my next jobs, is to come back in 2040 to 2047 to make sure everybody gets cleared off of this planet. And I will be ascending, turning into the fourth dimension in 2020, because I will have fulfilled my duties on Earth as a creator. I have completed the Ascension Portals. I will complete the landing of the travelers. And then I get to go have fun for about 30 years and then come back and help those who didn't quite make it in 2040.